Hello, and welcome to the next edition of Humbrol Models. Having accrued a few Airfix club points, I've managed to secure myself a Chinnook. I'm really pleased with this purchase, since I got a big discount on it. And so, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this build, and I hope you do too. As always, instructions are up, and they're the usual really good Airfix instructions. Which bit you fitted last, and so on and so forth. The sprues that I immediately need are up. As always, the board's clear. Let's crack on. First step in the instructions is part E, very nicely marked. 2, which is this piece here, I believe. Should be a 2 somewhere. Oh, crikey. Well, it looks like that in the drawing, so it's got to be that, isn't it? It's cutting these injection mould parts off, which I totally understand. Just a shame that they couldn't do that in manufacture, but hey, it's what, 2 minutes? It's not a big problem. So, crack on with that first. Right, now that fettle's out of the way. G25. Sprue G. Again, nicely marked. And part 25 is that bit there, I do believe. Yep. Next piece is G19. G19. That's 18, 19. Oh, look at the detail. I don't know if you can see that or not on that camera, but there's just beautiful detail on that. So these two have got to join together like that, by the looks of things. Yes. So we'll put a little bead around there. Trying to avoid fingerprints. Oh, that is just... There we go. Big fat fingers. There we go. That's in. I must admit, I'm really impressed with the fit so far. I've only just started, I know, but that is amazing. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with the rest of this build. till I get to the point where the cockpit's together, and then I'll show you progress. Right, I've done the cockpit build. It's very nice and detailed. I've not glued this bit in yet because I've got to fit a decal to that, and there's no way I'm going to get that in there with that glued into place, so I'll paint that individually. The rest of it is brilliant. Also, I had this pilot figure from the Vampire build. It's not the one that I ruined doing the Supermarine Swift, but he fits, so I'm going to use him because I don't like aircraft without pilots. So yeah, I'll carry on. On the instructions, I've reached a point where I'm drilling holes, so I've done those two, and I've done the holes for the winch. On the bottom half, Airfix have given us a nice little template, and it says don't glue it, so I haven't. I've taped it. So using this template, I'm going to mark the holes and then drill them once I've got the plastic mark. So if I take that one through there, that one I reckon is marked now, and that one there, it doesn't say drill these two, so I'm not going to. So let's take that off of there. Oh, crikey. There we go. I'll use that bit of tape again. There's my two marks, so I shall drill that one. So that's that side all drilled. Now we've got to get the piece E9 and do the same again, which I'll do off camera. I'm not going to bore you with drilling these holes, and then we'll carry on with the build. There you go, it locks in nicely in there actually. Very nice. And that bit. Very nice. Further assembly. And we get that bit in there. That bit in there. And these lug bits goes in those holes. Or should fit into those holes, we should say. Oh, should. There you go. In you go. That clipped in. Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm just going to get a bit of Tamiya. Oh. And where these bits join, just give them a little bit of a swipe. Along there. And a bit of a touch in there. That's a very nice fit, that. Let's do this side. Don't need. Right, because the detail on this model and the figures that I put in, as most of my viewers, subscribers are aware now, I like electronics. So I would like to, I'm going to mount an LED in this doorway, hatchway. So in order to do that, go to my electronics drawer, and I'm going to find myself a nice colour. I'm thinking green. Oh, that's upside down. That's a good start. Green for the light in that doorway. So we'll grab one of them. Obviously, before I do anything else, I'm going to prove that works. I'm going to dig myself out a battery. I hope I've got one in here. Yes, I have. There's one. Let's just make sure that works first. Yep, there we go. Nice green. I think that will show off the cockpit and the detail that I put in the back there with the two questionable crew figures. I mean, they're not the best, but that's why I chose them. They're not going to be easily seen. So, looking at my drill set. Oh, if I can open it. I think that one will do nicely. Oh, crikey. Oh, it's because it's new. It's still very stiff. Oh, crikey, where did that go? There it is. Come on. There we go. Let's see. That looks a very good fit, actually. So I'm going to use that one. And my drill bit. Or pin vise. Shouldn't really call it a drill. Is it going to grip that? It should do. There we go. Right, it's got that. I'll work out the leg position. So I'm going to put a hole there. I'll drill these holes and then show you how I'm going to mount the LED. So I've got the LED set in. I've run the wires down the side. No need for glue because the component legs will hold it in through the base under there, which I will hide in the next bit, which goes in there because there's these little pieces here for that. But just to show you the effect that I'm trying to get with this. There we are. So there we have the light on inside. So it reflects off the seats, show the two figures and the rope, and lights up the cockpit rather nicely as well with all the dials and whatnot. So yeah, that's the effect I'm after. Cool. Right, time to put this bit into that bit. But I'm going to get my glue. I can squidge. I'm not going to do too much. These things always go wrong. Little bit in there. And then very patiently put that in there. That in there, fit her in. Oh, that's gone in nicely. And that all joins up like that. Oh, very nice. So there we go. We're actually making inroads now into building the model as an aircraft, which I'm quite pleased with actually. Very good. Got plenty of glue, so that's all right. Don't need any more. Just going to leave that like that to set. I've reached the point of the instructions where I'm going to join the fuselage halves together. but not yet. I'm looking at these instructions. I want a diorama where the Chinnook is on the ground but the rotors are spinning lazily. I know. Static models and all that stuff. So when the rotors go to, when the halves are together, there's all this good stuff. And then there's these two plates that go on there. Nice little arrows. Thank you, Airfix. Very nice. So parts F13 and F14 and F1. So, looking at the rotor section, which is here somewhere, I've already looked this up. Oh cripes, there we go. It's got on the bottom of each rotor such a nice little stub, which I think I can put a motor shaft into and they'll sit nice and flat. So I'm going to look at that bit next. So it's F15, which are two of them, and these sections here, I will find them again. I've lost my way. Where did it go? There, these sections here. Let's see how they marry up. So holding part F14 with the motor the right way up. Getting this little baby. Oh, why is that jammed? Just me being a numpty. Well, there's 21mm, 21.5mm. I've got a horrible feeling that is not going to fit 17. Right, there's another option. Don't panic. In here I have a smaller motor. Let's try that one in there. So with the plate and with that there, that's a nice fit. I can definitely centre that. With that there and that there, hold it together as best I can. Come on. Ow. Jumping jiminies. There we go. It'll be a guesstimation now, because I can't really hold it. That's 13.5mm, which we know already will fit inside there. So, next step is to get that set and just eye it up. I'm going to use a bigger motor in here because from what I can see in the instructions, when the halves go together, there's nothing in there. So that shouldn't really matter. My only concern, of course, is the bigger motor might spin a bit faster, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Righty ho. Let's get those done first and then carry on with the building. So for the rear rotor, I've pre-run the cables and I'm pinning the cables or the wires in place with filler. So I'm going to let that go off. I'm not going to muck with them anymore. That should hold the wires in place, left enough slack for it to come back down. So front rotors will be very similar, using the one hole which is there to keep the wires the same side. I'm going to thread them up. I'll grab them with my tweezers, pull them out and have them ready, so all the wires will run down the same route there through the fuselage. Yeah. Whilst the cabling route's dry, I'm going to, I've super glued the motors in place, so I'm now going to just use a bit of filler to reinforce the entire assembly. I've run out of grey Humbrol, so I haven't used this, so I'm hoping it's going to be strong enough. There we go. Let me just pack that motor in without going outside the frame. You see what I'm trying to avoid is putting filler there, because it's getting it inside the motor now, inside the model, sorry, which is, I don't want to be filing and scraping and whatnot. I'd like it to be a straightforward fit. I'm hoping this will just hold it in place, so when the rotors are spinning lazily, obviously I don't want it going full pelt, the motor doesn't loosen itself inside the model. So again, I'll carry on with this and yeah, show you progress as things cure, so on and so forth. Right, all the first fix wiring, as us electricians would call it, is done. Rear motor wires, front motor wires, LEDs, they all run down here out of the way. It's a bit of a bird's nest, but it's out of the way. And then each cable, I've each wire set of things, so I've labelled LED, front motor, rear motor. I'm going to let all that filler go off before I do anything else, because I just want it to cure so nothing breaks and nothing goes wrong. All I've got left to do is just form those wires and push those seats back, but I can't do that until that filler's gone off. But yeah, definitely getting there. Loving it. All the parts are in, all the wiring's done, so I'm going to join the halves together. So as usual, I'm going to do the dual glue thing. So I'll put some glue in these holes. Just a little dab on each one. That's it. And get the other half. Put them together. Oh, crikey. Oh, got all fingers and thumbs. Right, get them all lined up. I'm using a bit of tape, because there's no way my clamp's going to hold those slopey surfaces. I'll just try and get that together like that, and then do that side, another bit of tape, run that around there. Oh, crops. Like that. Another bit of tape on that bit. And then what I'm going to do is, now that's all pretty much sealed, and get the tamiya and the bits that aren't covered in tape, give them a brush over. Then I'll take the tape off and tamiya those bits as well. This is just to get the whole thing together. So that I can protect the detail inside, because at no doubt at one point one of my fat digits is going to hit those seats or crew and loosen them to the point where I may be using some Anglo-Saxon. So yeah. That's it. Just hold that together for a while that sets. On the instructions next is drilling holes in the base. Some of the holes are 0.9, some are 1 mil, whatever. It's all going to be 1 mil. I'm not fanning about like that. So I'm going to get on with drilling these, and then show you progress, fix it at the bottom of the aircraft, that sort of thing. Got the bottom plate on, that's taped. I've used the oh crikey, what's it called, Tamiya tape to hold it in place while I just run a bead of Tamiya extra thin around. Take those bits off and then just glue the bits I didn't quite get to with the tape in the way. Some of it will, I think the word is capillary underneath. But yeah, it's I find it a good way of doing large fuselages, doing it a bit at a time like this, rather than struggling with clamps and all manner of stuff. Just do it like this. That side's not quite down properly, so I'll do that in a second. Let's finish this off first. There we go. I've drilled a hole probably a little bit too big for the wires, but eh, cover it up with something, no doubt. Right, let's do this side. A marvellous thing called filler will fill that hole up, so that's alright. Let's do this bit here. Next part of instructions is this. It's got holes to drill and an arrow on the thing, so it's on the chart there, so it's very good. So it looks as though it's going to go there. Oh, or maybe not. There we go. It's located very nicely. So I'm going to take that into position like that. It's asking for 0.7 and 0.8 mil holes. So that'll be my next thing to do. Holes are drilled, very nice too. I do like the way a template with that right in the middle. That's I don't know who engineered this model, but that is bloody good engineering. Sorry to say, but the line I can't think of another word to describe it. That design on AutoCAD and the moulding process, outstanding. Anyway, I'm going to glue this bit on now, which is part F1. So I shall get some of my trusty Revel. Oh. Put a bit at the end because I find they tend to curl up. That's it. So very great care not to get any fingerprints, which I probably will do. In we go onto the model, and that falls beautifully into place. So hold it in position, use your masking tape because I haven't got the clamps to fit this. It's on. Next one. Next one. Then the final one. Push it home and just get that to seal. There we done. Excellent. Right. Of course, now the bit of you've all been waiting for. Time to fit the motors. So I'm going to warm up the solder 9, get these ends put away, and then put them into the model. I find when connecting solder joints, it's always best to tin both points that you're soldering. It just makes the solder flow easier and gives you a much better connection. And it's something I learnt during my time working in the avionics industry as well. Just tin. A good, strong, reliable connection goes a long way to a good joint. So what I'm going to do now, this is the front motor, it's a small one. So there's my two conductors going to the battery. So if I take one out the way, get that off of there, get a pair of tweezers. And what I'm going to try and do is wind it round like that. Wind it round like that, hook it around the wire. I'm hoping you can see this on the camera, what I'm trying to do. They're too big for the job. They're better. And get that right round the wire. Like what we call a solder post in my days as an apprentice. Oh, unfortunately it's been 30 plus years since I've done anything like this, and my eyes are significantly older than they used to be as well, so it doesn't really help. There we go. Oh look, there we go, and it falls off. Get that wrap round there. Come on, that's it. That's around. There we go. Right, so I'm going to cut that loose end off to keep it tidy. Take our iron. Oh. And give it a blob. That's it. That's on. And a couple of seconds to cool. That's on. That's a good joint. Obviously I'm going to test it with the battery before I close it up, because it would just be a bit foolish not to, really. And let's have that on there like that. Spin it round. Try and make as good mechanical as well as electrical connection as possible. That's it. There we go. Get the iron and give it. Oh, it's got a spike on it. You don't want that on there. That's it. That's it. That's hot enough. Done. That should be on there. Yes. So we look for FM, which is that one. And I'll put the battery across it as soon as I've tinned these ends, because I didn't do it when I threaded them through. So I'll tin the ends and then we'll try those connections out and make sure that we have a good circuit before I glue that into place. All the soldering's done, so front motor, let's try that one. Yep. Rear motor, give that a go. Yep, and just double check the LED is still working to a fashion, if I can get it to contact this battery. Oh cripes. LEDs let me down. No, it's not. It's just the fact that that wire's not tinned very well. Where's my solder gone? Let's give that another going over. So I'll scrape off the varnish of the top, and then of the cable, and then I'll give it a bit of a tin. It's just not a very clean connection on this, so just heat the wire up. Many varnish gets burnt off. Just give it a good connection. Do that one as well. Too much salt in the iron now, it's going to give me a peak like that, which I don't like. I must get myself some of that soldering wick stuff. There we go. Let that cool a bit before I touch it. Let's try that again. I can't remember which is positive, which is negative. That way round. There we go. So the cockpit's well lit, and the rear of the aircraft is also well lit. I think that looks pretty effective. Yeah, happy with that. Right, put these ends away once I've insulated these ends, and then carry on with the build. The motors are now set in very nicely. So just to make sure I haven't made any serious mistakes, let's just whirl them up one more time. Now it sounds terrible now, but trust me, it won't. Yep, all good. And I'll just test the lead. Absolutely brilliant, all working still, very happy. Right, these sections, I believe they're air intakes, because on the instructions it says conical filters, dust filters. Well, as per the box art, I'm going to go for the conical filters. Now I've noticed this rear section is going to be something like a 53 colour, so I won't be fitting them until I've painted the aircraft in its colours. I think that's important, I don't touch them till then. But everything else, the filters as well, I'll probably leave them off as well. Yeah, it seems following instructions doesn't really help in painting, so that'll be something that I'll do at the end. Anyway, I digress. Using my double glue method, spot in there, spot in there. There we go, have that over. Trying to avoid fingerprints again. Pick up, there we go. And then using a little bit of Tamiya, just get those bits secured. I'm hoping my big clamps will hold them together. Yes, there we go. That's that one done. Now we do this one. Same again. Oh, bit of crap or dirt in there. Don't want that in there. Wink that out. That's it. Got to do a bit of winking out every now and then. Point that in there like that. Have them over and then stick that together like that. Come on. That's it. And once again, a bit of Tamiya just to secure the bottom halves. There we go. And another clamp. Oh, cripes. Oh, that one's, that's it, that's got it. And just let them cure. Oh. And then I shall fix them to the side of the aircraft, but I said I shall be leaving the ends off for now because of painting. To complete these sections, it says in the instructions to stick these bits on when you apply it to the model, but I'm not going to do that because I know from experience I'm a little bit clumsy, and I also know I will get glue all over the model with the resultant fingerprints. So I'm just going to put a dribble on that. There we go. And a dribble in there. And then put that one in there. Oh, look at that fit. Look, that is just... I know people have a lot of things to say about Airfix, but their modern kits are getting so much better. They really are good. Let's do the same with this one. Let's hope I don't do what I just said about fits. Oh dear. There we go, it's in. That was almost a blooper moment. Right, so I'm going to let them cure it and then they can go on the side of the model at some point too. I've had a rethink with these filters, and I'm going to coat them in metallic, then mask them like a canopy, fix them to the model, and then paint them, and then strip the mask off so they have like a metal finish. So that's what I'm going to do next. The airbrush, oh, there's water in it. There we go. This is just Humbrol 56 metallic. So I'll varnish that, mask it, and then fix it to the model. It's just a bit more, I don't know, realism it? I don't know what the word is. Not an artistic type, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And then these two end tubes. My plan is to also give them a thinned, rusty type of finish as well before they go on. Did the inside of that one not? There we go. And just for the metallic overall effect, put a little bit in there as well. I don't know if you had to see into it when it's finished, but why not? Doesn't hurt. Empty the airbrush out completely. Oh, easy. Yeah, so that's my plan. Right, let's stick these air jobbies on. So this side first, looking at the instructions, I've got no clue which side is which because I wasn't paying attention. Oh well, I'll figure it out. That's such an idiot. Oh dear. No, that's that side. Obviously that is that side. So yeah, we'll stick them on now then. Oh, it's a lovely fit. I really am impressed with the fit so far on this model. It's been amazing. So let's just do a little bit of a line around there. Fix that into place. I have to be patient with this and just hold it. I can't tape it. I don't think it's going to work, so I'm just going to hold it there for a few seconds. So bear with me. That is, yeah. Whoever, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, whoever built this kit knows what they're doing. That is amazing. Like I say, I'm not sponsored by Airfix. I've got no affiliation to anyone. I just, I like building models, whatever the brand, but I especially like Airfix from my childhood, shall we say, experiences, and they've come in leaps and bounds. They really have. So stick that one on there. And there we go. They're both on, looking very, very nice. So I'm going to let them go off before I do anything else, because I know at some point these big maulers will have them off and I'll end up with glue stains and fingerprints everywhere. And I've been chuckling at my fat hands and maulers. Look what I've gone and done. I don't know how that happened. Still, it's a chance to redeem the doorway, isn't it, I suppose. So, honestly, I don't know how I can breathe in and out sometimes without suffocating because my brain power is so low. Right, let's try and get this back in now. It's not even the side with the wires on. Honestly, I don't know. Let's see if I can get this to fit in there. Oh, cripes. Silly old sod. Now I'll put a little bit of dab on each one of these. See if we can't get it to stay put. Right, let's put it in the right way round. That would definitely help. Oh, Christ. What a numpty. Right, let's put that in there like that. Get that away from the doorway. Oh, crikey. What I'm going to try and do is just push it against the side of the fuselage and hope for the best. Oh, I'm cursed with big hands, I'm afraid, and it's just yeah, the doorway's now clear, so let's improve that aspect of the model. Well, I don't know if the seat's in the right position now, but I'm just going to hope for the best and glue them into place and do what I can. It's a shame because where I've got them now, they're covering up all the windows apart from a little bit. I don't know if that's right or not, but at least you can see his hand in the doorway, which is good. That does seem to be setting. So I'm wondering if I'll get one of my trusty hair clips, see if I can't clip that into place like that. Oh, I can't do this side. I don't think the hair clips are strong long enough, but I'll certainly try. No, not quite. Oh, hang on. Yes, it's got it. So I'll let them go off. I'm so clumsy sometimes. I'll let them go off and then we'll try again. Oh dear, how not to make a model Chinnook 101. Right, I've refixed the seats in. The next bit of the build process is the wheels, but I'm going to leave them because I've no doubt in my mind at some point I will, well, if I can snap the seats off, I'll definitely have the wheels off. So I'm going to let all that settle and I'm going to do the ramp section. I'm going for the full bifter ramp, so I'm going to assemble it and then possibly, I don't know, paint it off the plane, off the aircraft even. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see how it goes together first before I commit to that. So sprue C, which is that one. This is the underside, so C3. Just that bit. Very nice. We'll just see how it goes together first. So that goes in there, and that appears to want to go in. Oh, yep. And E7. Where's E gone? It's here somewhere. This looks like E, and that's going to be this piece. E7. Yep, there it is. It's I get a bit, I don't know what the word is, but when the sprues start to get really empty, it's a bit sad because you come to the end of the build and it's like, oh, I'm really enjoying this, I don't want it to stop. So yeah, that's what drives me on to make more and more models, really, because it's always, I don't know, maybe I'm just super sad, but I always find it a bit saddening when it comes to an end of a build, even though you've got the finished product in front of you and it's all very good and fine and dandy. It's sort of like, oh, I really enjoyed that, I want to do another one, but you know, you've built one now, so I must admit though, the Airfix Spitfire Mark 180 is my favourite kit that Airfix do, and I have built more than a dozen of those in my time. It's a nice quick weekend build. You can just distract yourself. I don't tend to watch television, it's just so depressing. All the wars and whatnot, oh, it's just, nah, not for me. I don't watch that. So there's that ramp, and that goes in there, and that goes on. Oh, this is beautiful. Right, let's assemble it. A bit of the old Revel. Let's get that bit in there. Like that. Make sure that's as centre as I'm going to get it. It doesn't feel keyed. Oh, it's grabbed that almost instantly. I think I need to rethink that. Put that there, like that. That's better. And then we'll put that bit into there. Get our hair clips. And let that go off before I do anything else with it. That's a marvellous bit of kit, that's really nice. So yeah, just let that go off. I put that round the wrong way. Silly old fool. Right, that's together. Looking good. So let that go off and then we'll decide what we're going to paint it. I'm fitting the portholes, I suppose you can call them. So to do that, masking them, I'm sticking the porthole onto masking tape, pushing it really hard into place, which gives me a nice template with a scalpel to cut round. I'm hoping this one will go as well as the others have. I'll just cut round the clear part. That's it. It's working so far. Should I have rehearsed it 8 times already? So that's it's round here like that. Oh, oh cripes. There we go. Now when sticking these to the model, there's a piece that's keyed on these. There's a little tiny tether there. I just want to get rid of that. Off you come. Oh cripes. The curse of fat fingers, that is. Right, that's better. There's a little key piece of little keyed part, which is in this photo. And it's on the model here. If you can see that or not, it's a little like key piece there. What I'm finding is, because of the moulding, and it's just, I suppose it's something that Airfix couldn't get round, the key piece on the clear part is sometimes too thick to fit in there, and it ends up being, well, awkward. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting them out. I've already done this one, so making sure I'm the right way up with my thumbnail. That's the right way up. Take it in there and push it in. I mean, it fits perfectly. There's no problem with fit, just that little key is being a bit of a pain. So push it in there, a bit of Tamiya, and then just brush the sides with it to hold it in place. I always find Tamiya's fine with putting clear parts on. I tried PVA and everything else, but this seems to be the key. And then getting the back end of a scalpel and just giving it a bit of a push to make sure it's completely in and flush with the fuselage, like that. Yeah, I've got one more to do, and then it's the door. Then we have to do all the little bits and pieces before painting. It's definitely getting there. Diorama base and a switch, did some drilling out in the shed, sanded that off, no splinters. So I'm just going to put the switch in and push the back connector legs in like that. So that gives it strength when you push the switch. Mounted. Once it's glued, that'll definitely be strong enough to operate. So next is the battery clips, or battery holders, Oh, I think that one might have seen better days, but let's have a look. Nope, still works, that's good. So what I do with these is, once I get the battery clip, they come with two little holes in them, so they're ideal for this sort of thing. So just find a couple of little screws, right, fit the right way up. I do not be picking screws up the rest of the day. And so I'm going to go with those, I think. These ones, again, if they stick through the wood, it's not a big problem, as I'm going to do some sort of feature at some point. I want a watchmaker screwdriver. I guess they're going to be Phillips, they usually are. Everything's Phillips these days. And then I'm going to screw that onto there. So, oh crikey, fat fingers. There we go, put that into the driver. Put it through my battery holder. And then it can go. These are small self-tappers, so they'll find their own thread, which is brilliant. Get that wire from underneath it, that's it. It's still not quite tight enough. I don't want to screw it to my cutting board, so just get that tight. Excellent. Right, that's secure. That's really, really tight, and the battery will still close up. That's not going to go anywhere. To change the battery though, you're going to need a little screwdriver just to flick that cover up like that. Oh, like that, and it's up and up. So there you go. So the positive will run to the centre terminal, and then the power to the motors or lights will run to wherever the hole for the diorama is there, which is I'm going to pre-wire all that around the base into there. Obviously I'll show you that once I've done with the connection points here, or I can run the wires around or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, so far so good. To cover up the screws and the switch legs, what I've done is I've put a bit of Poundland plaster down for a bit of terrain. So what I'm going to do now is take my Poundland makeup brush and just use my paint brush cleaning water and just smooth it out a little bit. I'm not going to go too mental because I want the roughness on it. I'm thinking Fulton Island. I'm not quite sure where Chinnook would be these days, or has been. So yeah, just trying to blend it into the wood, and then when it dries out, and be a bit of rough terrain, like a rock outcropping with some weed on it, that sort of thing. My idea is that as the rotors are spinning, if I can put a bit of loose weed on the diorama, it'll move whilst the rotors are going round. That'll be really good. So yeah, I'm just going to smooth these out as best I can. Just I want ruts and rivets and stuff, and divots, I mean, not rivets, idiot. And then yeah, I quite like doing this, it's very therapeutic. I think it takes back to your childhood with paper mache, doesn't it, really? Loving it. Just finishing off masking the canopy. So I like this size. I think it's 8mm. I don't know. 6mm. 6mm Tamiya tape for this. So what I do is work the long edge along a section of the clear part best I can, because what I want to avoid is cutting loads and loads and loads of times. There we go. Rudimentary cocktail stick, and just work it into those seams that you are going to cut, like that, and then just work it round, flattening the tape out as you go. So you make the cut. As I said earlier, this is my blue scalpel, which I only use for cutting tape when I'm doing this masking, because my metal one is I can put so much more force into it and probably cut the clear part, which is what I don't want to do. So yeah, just let's just cut that out like that. Just very gently pick it, and I see it's off. And then the bits that I cut off, any that will fit, they go on there. So that will cover that bit up nicely, like that. And then the bit that I cut earlier will fit that bit there. So I've just used one little bit of tape and I've masked off a whole panel. And I've made 2 cuts. Brilliant. Right, the canopy is on and masked. I've had to do a small bit of filling there. I think that was me rather than Airfix. And there's a little bit down there. Again, I think it's me, not Airfix. It's all been such a good fit that any issues I think I'm creating, it's not the model. So next step I'm gonna do is fit all the little bits and pieces all over the model. I'm not going to video that because you don't need to see me sticking tiny little bits of stubs to these holes. The winch is pretty much this 3 parts. Yeah, so I'm not going to video that. And then it'll be on to painting. So I give it a coat of primer and then go from there. All the bottom components are now fitted, or parts. Part H10, these 2 bits here. That one, or the one that I haven't, it's not on there, went for a ping. So the kite monster's got a snack. So I took that off another sprue. You know, we have spare parts and sprues off the building. Shaped it as best I could and stuck it into place. So I'll carry on with sticking bits on. Hopefully the kite monster will go hungry. And yeah, get on with painting. All the small bits are on. I've had to make substitutes. That part there pinged, so again I've fashioned it from another spare sprue. I put the top bit on the wrong way around. These things happen. So yeah, going to prime it now. Cue the music. Right, I want to do a shallow riverbed effect on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some Mod Podge gloss, which is, if I can get the pot open, which finishes on a shiny finish, and I'm going to some of this Liquitex water type. It's a gloss varnish basically, but it looks like water. So I'm going to put that in there as well, mix it up with one of my stirrers. Get that all mixed in. I saw this being done on a another YouTube channel for a water effect on a lake. Now obviously I can't do resin, it's just not going to happen. But the idea being is I'm going to do myself a river effect type thing while the wheels are drying on the helicopter, because I can't really do anything with that at the moment. So if I mix that in as best as I can, to pour it around there and then use my airbrush to create waves. That's what I'm hoping to do. That's it. Or could just make a huge great mess. Let's see what we can do with this. There we go. Just trying to bring a little bit of I don't know what the word will be, bit of interest to the thing, interest to the wind that right down so it's not too strong in here. That's it. And then very carefully just blow it. There we go. I'll carry on doing this and hopefully there'll be a decent end result. Right, decals that I can do with my eyesight and I've got time to do are all on. So I'm now going to drill the holes for the motor shafts. So going by that measurement, that's 1/2 mil. And this one is 0.8. I was hoping for the same size, but never mind. So I shall get my drill bit. Oh, wrong drawer. Get my drills out. And my pin vise, wherever that's gone. There it is. Oh, cracky. There we go. Right, pin vise. I'm going to go 0.6, and there's a reason why I'm going to do this. It's because I stick these rotor pieces on with filler, and I need a bit of space between the shaft and the cap for the filler to work in, if you will. So I'm going to do that in a pin vise. Ooh, that's wrong, not right. Oh dear. Bear with me a minute. Very slowly I'm going to drill that now. Square it up as best I can. Keep going. So what I want to do is drill it deep enough so it sits on top of the shaft but doesn't actually touch the plastic. That's what I want, so it can spin quite freely when the motor's turning. So I'll just keep spinning that round ever so slowly. Yeah, so you can see the hole starting to form now. So I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll show you fitting the cap when I'm there. I've drilled the holes and I've filed the back surfaces flat. I've taken a bit off the edges to make sure there's no points to catch, just with a nail file, running it around just like that. Obviously not taking too much off, but just enough. When it come off the sprue, sometimes there's little bits hanging there and there. I give myself a fighting chance, if you will, to hopefully the motor can spin it, because there's going to be quite a bit of weight with such a small little motor. So yeah, well, I'm just going to just file them around, make sure there's ample clearance between the rotor cap, I suppose, and the body. So I've done that. Now these motors are from drones, or they're motors for spare motors for drones, so they should be able to spin at a reasonably high RPM. I don't want them spinning too much. So anyway, to attach the cap, I'll take this filler and I'll put ever such a tiny bit in there, like that, and with fine pointed tweezers, and work it as best I can into the hole. I don't want too much in there, just enough so that when it goes off, it grabs the plastic and the metal and makes the joint. I don't use super glue, I don't use model fix glue, because it will run down the shaft and stick it to the body, which is what I don't want to happen. So a little tiny bit more. I'm using fractions, absolute tiny bits. Just put it in that hole. Now what I do when I'm filling gaps, get a cotton bud, bit of water, and try and make it sit flush, like that. So let's fill a still in the hole, turn the right way up, and then drop her onto the motor shaft. It's there somewhere. Oh, this is always an awkward bit, whatever build it is. Right, drop it in there, and then by using a bit of eye, just get it on as best as possible. There we go. Now the key is not to touch that for several hours and let the filler do its job. Just want to make sure it's sitting square on the model, which it is. Cool. Leave it be now. So I'll do the back one, get them both on, and then we'll start making the rotor sets up. Okay, they've had time to set. I'm not using this. There's a reason. I just don't think it's going to be strong enough to make the joint. So I'm going to use super glue for this part. So I'm just going to tie a tiny little bit on there, tiny bit, and then a cocktail stick, and then I'm going to just very gently put some on each of the top of these, like that. Then I'm going to get a large blob in there. It doesn't matter if it gets there's too much, because it's not going to sit on any shaft or anything. Sit very slowly and very carefully, which is very unlike me. Put this into place and hopefully it will just drop on. I did take the time in widening the holes ever so slightly so it would fit a bit easier. So let's just lift that up and see if I can't just get it to fit on there. Oh, come on. Oh, it's going to be a sod. There we go. Come on, get into place. Oh, they don't want to make it easy for you, do they? Come on. There we go, that's on. It's just dropped into place then. Takes a little bit of patience. Right, I'm hoping the super glue will hold that in place without any problems. I'll just let it set. Right, the rear one is exactly the same process, so I have to take that from the sprue. Cut these little bits off, tidy it up, and then stick it onto the motor shaft, drive, cap, whatever we want to call it. Right, so sticking the model to the diorama base. I threaded the wires through. I did that off camera because it wasn't very pretty. And you know, I'm trying not to embarrass myself too much. So I've got my Mod Podge mat, which is what I use for securing models. 2 diorama bases. So what I'm going to do is do the wired side first, because I can lift that. That can be getting more difficult basically. So we'll turn that round. We'll lift it ever so slightly up if I can, and the wire's definitely got it there. So I'm going to try and squidge a bit. So I think if I use my PVA brush, a suitable amount of Mod Podge mat, and just put it under the wheel, and loads of it, and then fix that down. It will dry clear and it will dry matte. That's all I want it to do. And secure that into place. Do this rear wheel. Doesn't need it because the wires are there, but I'd like to be thorough. Just stick that on there as well. There we go. I can always hide any glue stains with bits of weed and grass and whatnot. And then turn that round. Oh, ever so gently. And if I just tip that to one side, put that under where the wheel is. Excellent. Another bit under there. And put a little bit more on that just to make sure that actually grabs it. I'll make sure that really stays there. There we go, a bit under there. Excellent, that's got all that. Now, just to be doubly, trebly, absolutely 100% certain it stays where it's put, I'm going to put a little bit under the base of the ramp as well. So just a bit under there. Let that sit in it and just dab it on. That's it, that will set, I hope, brilliantly. On the home stretch now, people. Lovely jubbly. Next will be the rotors, and then directional finding with polarities on the rotors, and then we can solder and finish up. Getting quite excited actually. I think this is going to be, well, epic. I hope. Not an epic failure. Right, I've got the right blades on. They're all set on with super glue to make sure they're extra tough. So testing polarity, I'm going to go this way first. That's clearly the wrong way. So let's try this way. Yes, perfect. So I've got the positive and negative now. So all I've got to do is solder that up. How I'm going to do that, I haven't worked out yet. Because I've got to tip the model up. But yeah, that's a very good start. So I'm just going to put a curl on that one because it's positive. I can find some tweezers. Oh, I really shouldn't leave my board in such a mess, but there you go. So that's the positive. As I said, I want these rotors spinning lazily. I don't want them going 10 to the dozen, and that is just what I wanted. Excellent. So I'll get those soldered. I'll identify the other ones, which I can probably do here, but they're going to spin ever so quickly because there's no load on them. It's too fast. I can't see. I'll put the rotor blades on there, and then we'll work out the polarity of those. Put the wires away. Apart from a little bit of dry glue, I'm going to call it done. So there you go, that's my version of the Airfix 172 Chinook. I must admit I'm quite pleased with this build. It's been, yeah, I'm impressively happy with the LED cockpit lights and the spinning rotors. Yeah, I'm suitably chuffed, shall we say. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and the build process. If so, please give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you on my next build. Cheers!